Hey guys, it's Aiden here with Lazy Acres, Texas. Welcome back to another video. And as you can see, I got one Mini X and I got a second Mini X. Folks, we've done it again. We bought one at the auction and now we have bought another at the auction. And the only difference between these machines is that AGT markets on their website, this is going to be the upgraded version of this machine right here. We're going to test that. Here, I'm going to show you what I like about this machine versus that machine and likewise. So sit tight, folks. We got a long video or a decent sized video for you here today. We're going to go over the specs of each machine. This machine is a Rato powered 15 horsepower 420cc engine. This is a Briggs & Stratton 420cc 13.5 horsepower engine. So horsepower difference, or engines are tuned differently. They're supposed to be the same size. They look identical, but that one's 15cc. That one's going to be 13.5 cc. Or that's going to be a 420. These are both 420cc. That's going to be 15 horsepower per engine specs. This is going to be a 13.5 horsepower per engine spec. So the machines, the only difference really between the machine, besides the design, the body design and all that, is the boom configuration. So on this DMC-12C is what it's called, we have the hydraulic thumb and we have a swing boom as well as digital controls. On this one, it's pretty much the base version of that. No hydraulic thumb that comes with it, no swing boom, no digital controls. Everything's analog on this machine, everything's digital. As far as engine access, it's going to be a lot more difficult to access the engine on this machine than it will be on this machine. So they've optimized that quite a bit. And on here, as well as the hydraulic thumb, we also got a switch block so you can run the hydraulic thumb and an attachment. On this one, we have the auxiliary hydraulics right here. We have no switch block to switch between a hydraulic thumb and a hydraulic attachment. So it's only one. This one can run two. Well, one attachment plus the hydraulic thumb. So, and this also has the pedal controls, I will say that. So I'm going to grab the camera here. We're going to take a little bit of a look at close up at the differences between the machines. And I'll tell you what I do and what I don't like about this machine, and what I do and what I don't like about this machine. Keep in mind, this is marketed on AGT's website, Agritech Industrial's website, that this is the upgraded model of this machine. So it should, in all aspects, be upgraded. But I'm going to test that and I'm going to show you what I think about it and what I found. Shut up! The donkey has spoken his mind as well. So yeah, keep in mind, this is the upgraded model of this version, as per Agritech's website. So we're going to test that. Alright, I'm going to grab the camera and we're going to do a close-up here. Alrighty folks, here we go. So, close-up of the machine right here. You can tell a definite difference just from looking at it. There's your back panel. A lot cleaner, a lot more refined like a normal Mini X. Not quite like a name brand Mini X, but it looks a lot more clean. Over around to the front, you can see the swing boom right in there. That's your swing boom. There is going to be your hydraulic thumb right there. And then there's your switch block. And this has a larger hydraulic thumb on it, the beefier one. So we're going to test that when we start doing some rocks. We're going to come over here to the H12R, the machine that I've currently been using. Manual thumb, of course I bent the manual thumb on this one. No switch block, the auxiliary hydraulics are right here. No swing boom. However, I will say this. It looks like there's a punch out space for it right there. So maybe that was an option on this machine that we didn't get. And both these machines have been bought at an auction. So they should be identical. And I didn't go through AGT's actual website on them. So, but on AGT's website, which is Agritech Industrial, the DMC-12, I've said it a few times, is marketed as the upgraded machine. And first off what we've seen so far, it looks like an upgraded machine. The seat is a little elevated off to disperse heat, so your seat doesn't get super hot. Your hydraulic oil tank fill cap looks a lot cleaner. Of course, you got digital controls on this machine. Foot pedals. Those foot pedals will control the hydraulic thumb right here. Same cheesy lights on both machines. You can't see it on this side of the boom. If we go over here to the H12, obviously it's a little dusty because I was using it, but no digital controls. Everything's on there. It just looks a lot more clean on the newer one. There's your hydraulic fill cap right there. There's your battery. Going back around, the blade construction is very, very similar. However, I will say what the H12R has over the DMC12C is if we come down to these hydraulic hoses right here, these are actually reinforced. And if we come down over here, these are not reinforced. So as far as hydraulic hoses on the blade will be better on the H12R than the actual DMC12. So side view of the DMC12, the sun's in this direction, so I can't get a really good view. It looks a lot cleaner, I will say that. The ROPS on this machine, the OROPS, overhead rollover protection system, is a lot more sturdy on this machine. It doesn't vibrate a lot. It's very fixed and feels very secure. I definitely would trust it a lot more than what comes on this machine. And you could just tell by looking at the machines, the canopy on this one is just such a better quality than this one, which is literally just welded sheet metal. The seat is identical on both machines. Your control setup this is where it gets different. So if we look at our control setup on the H12R, the two tall bare sticks, those are going to be your drive. The stick in between, the short one, that's your dozer blade control. And the stick far out to the left is going to be your auxiliary hydraulics. And of course the two gray sticks are your boom controls. Now coming over to the DMC12C over here, and this is a function I'm actually not a fan of, how they laid out these controls. So, and I'm going to talk a little more about these controls. So the two tall black sticks, those are your boom controls. And those two little sticks, these little sticks right here in the center, those are going to be your track controls. I hate these compared to the H12R. It is a lot easier to control with the taller sticks, or the taller joysticks, than these little mini ones. And then also, these little mini ones are so close together that they rub on each other, and it's impossible to get each hand on each one of those. So it'll be primarily one hand controlled or very difficultly two-handed control. This is going to be your dozer blade control. So no longer is it in the middle of the drive controls, it's now on the side. And of course your pedal controls is going to be your hydraulic thumb. Coming down here, like I said, controls look cleaner. I'm not a fan of them. These are your digital controls. Hour meter that tells you the volts of your battery, the light, and then you can see the on, the lock, and the unlock switch right there. So what's that going to do? Unlike the H12R, there is no battery shutoff. The key is the battery shutoff, like on a normal machine. So that lock and unlock right there is going to switch the controls on the black joystick between moving the actual swing of the whole machine and toggling the swing for the hydraulic swing boom. So what I mean by that is if you want to use the swing boom, you have to click this or toggle that button right there, and the joystick that normally, or the direction that normally will move the whole machine, will now just move the swing boom. So that's a feature I'm not actually a fan of, because that means you can only move one at a time, either the whole swing of the machine or just the swing boom. It's the same with the thumb. If you have to unlock that button right there to be able to use a hydraulic thumb. Other than that, the auxiliary hydraulic controls will go to an attachment. So pretty much if you have it locked, if you have in the lock position, you won't be able to use the hydraulic thumb at all or the swing boom. If you unlock it, you can use the swing boom and the hydraulic thumb. That's a thing I'm not a fan of. And by the way, I can turn it on here. You can see your digital controls there. Obviously it's 64 hours on it because when we got the machine from the auction, some dum-dum at the auction had turned the key, left the battery on, killed the battery, so we had to pull it apart. Obviously it counted hours that entire time. So it's got 64 ghost hours on it, but it's still, I assure you, a perfectly new machine. Tracks are literally identical. There's no difference between the two. Like I said, engine differences. It's a lot easier to access the engine on the DMC-12 than it is on the H12R, even with this black panel here. On this one, there is 6 bolts to get off the yellow panel, the main yellow panel, and that does not remove your counterweight. On this machine over here, we're coming all the way back to the DMC-12. It's only 4 bolts, 2 on top and then 2 underneath, and the whole back panel comes off, leaving the whole back of the engine exposed. Another thing I will say the DMC-12 does better is that all the electronics for the machine are now wrapped up in here. So the engine bay inside of here is very clean, very easy, and very simple to work on. Very new user friendly. And of course, to open this, you can still open this thing right here, or the top of the seat, to add gas. There's just 2 wing nuts that you loosen and you can lift the whole thing up. That's another thing that the H12 does not have. On the H12, there are no screws holding down the seat, so you can just lift it up whenever you want to access the engine. I don't know how I feel about the wing nuts. I may take them off, but for right now, I'm leaving them on. Obviously, this machine, you got to give it to it because it's a little more dusty because I was using it. The throttle is going to be the same on both machines. The choke on this machine is going to be under, or on the side here where your feet go, and the choke on this machine is going to be right next to the seat. I actually like it right next to the seat better. So as far as that goes, I will say from driving this machine a little bit, the controls at full running RPM are really jerky. So if you're driving it, I don't know. If you're driving it, it's going to be a little more jerky. Or if you're using it at full power, it's going to be a little more jerky. This machine is not. And that could just be because the valves are more broken in on this machine than on this machine. But that is still to be decided at this point. So we'll have to see. So the last thing I think we're going to test right now is I'm going to fire up the machines. We're going to compare the sound to them. We're going to do some more. I want to do a digging competition between the two. And I want to do a speed competition between the two, so you guys kind of get the feel for what the difference is going to be. So here we are sitting on the seat. It's got the same seat as the other one. There's your foot control. Only one of these foot controls actually does anything. This one controls the hydraulic thumb. This one is fixed right here just for a place to put your foot. So starting up the machines, the key is right here. Turn on the gauges. I may not have to pull the choke on this one. Nope. So it seems a little bit quieter, I think, than the other one, until you get to higher RPM. I think it's a little bit quieter, but I don't know for sure. So right now, this is what this one sounds like. All right, here we go, getting into the other one. Oh boy. On this one, you actually have to turn the battery on before you start it. And the key is right here. I haven't ran this one in a few hours, so I might need to pull the choke. Yeah, I had to pull the choke. There we go. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell which is quieter and which is louder. I think the DMC-12 might even be a little bit louder. This machine does come though with a exhaust extender, so I can point the exhaust in a certain direction coming out, so it comes out farther than just the panel right here. So that's also a nice feature they come with it. That comes with it. Obviously, the engine in this is going to be a little bit smaller, I believe, than, well, not smaller, but tuned differently than the H12R. I think personally that the H12R may have a little bit more power than this machine, but I don't know. I haven't put this machine through its paces yet. We're going to be doing that here soon. Like I said, I want to do a speed challenge. I want to do and the reason I want to do a speed challenge because I do think this one's actually faster after driving this one for a little bit. I want to do a digging speed challenge. So we'll get to test that. Overall thoughts on the machine. There are some cons to this machine. AGT puts it as, or marks it down as an upgraded model of that machine. I just think the machine this way is going to be different than the machine right here. So We'll give it a test in a different video, but for now, I want to thank y'all for watching. Sorry for the shaky camera, by the way. It's hot out here. I'm sweating, so. Alright, thank you guys for watching. We're going to do more videos with these Mini X's soon, so see you all later. Bye.